Oh, look, another dude won a competition against a bunch of girls and stood on the platform with all the pride. Like, bro, you just beat a bunch of girls in a race. You didn't frickin' storm Normandy, okay? You're not Jackie, Joan, or Kersey. You're just Jack in a sports bra. Also, after this, he tells a reporter that all of his haters can get a life. Like, no, sir. We actually have lives. And in these lives, we live in reality. I think what you need to get is a biology book and to understand that you could put antlers on a golden retriever. It's still not a deer. So no matter what, how you dress up, what you wear, you're never gonna be a woman. No matter you go through all the sex changes, take all the hormones, you're never gonna be a woman. Now, I don't care what you do in your free time. Sure, dress how you want, whatever, act like a girl, think you're whatever. But the second you infringe upon women's spaces and women's rights, now that's the issue. Just for the record, dominating women's sports as a man does not make you this incredible athlete. It's literally the equivalent of a grown man playing dodgeball against a bunch of kids. It's completely unfair. This complete, deluded, unscientific, illogical thinking that all of a sudden there is no gender, there's no such thing as sex, you can just, shape shift into everything you want, is literally the definition of living in a false state of reality.
TunaBeats.com.
Save women's sports. So, what I'm very surprised about is the lack of support from women out there today who claim that they're fighting for women's rights, standing up for trans people who are out here, literally just males running around with wigs and dresses claiming that they're women, punching the lights out of women, sprinting faster than women, out-competing women, and competing in women's sports activities. So here's my take on it, right? We live in a country where for years, women have been fighting for their right to vote, to be in powerful positions of leadership, to be paid just as much as men, to be respected as much as men are, or to the level that they are, to be able to have the right to have abortions, and so on and so forth. Yet, you have your own sports. In some countries or some cities and states, you have your own gyms and your own ways to be able. You have your right to dress and be and carry yourself how you choose to as a citizen of this country. That's your right. No one should take that away from you. But what I don't understand is why aren't more women advocating to keep men out of their sports? These trans people, transvestites, whatever you want to call them, these idiots, these idiotic males wearing dresses and wigs, calling themselves women, don't deserve a right to compete in women's sports. As a male who has been a competitor myself and who's competed and trained with some of the best competition out there, at the end of the day, a lot of these males don't deserve the right to compete with women in their sport because they can't do it and cut it when it comes to men. We need to save women's sports. I stand for women's rights in that regard. And I advocate that more women should get out there, especially if you're a conservative. And yes, I'm calling you guys out, you ladies out. stand up against these trans individuals who are competing in your sports, who are competing and taking everything that you've earned. They have no right, no place. These males have no right, no place to compete in women's sports. So I listened to what Biles, Simone Biles was saying about Riley. I can't remember her last name. Both of them were gymnastics athletes, right? Both of them were gymnasts. And Simone Biles is pretty much defending trans athletes, saying that Riley was pretty much being a poor sport because she lost to a trans athlete. And Riley Gaines is her name, who was a competitor herself, who competed against a male athlete, honestly had a right to attack, or not even attack, but stand up and say exactly what she said back. And what I don't understand, especially within the black community, is the same people you're vouching for, or the same people that you're fighting for their rights, they're not fighting for your rights. These same people that you put on the pedestal, you're fighting for illegal immigrants. You're fighting for trans athletes. But yet these people aren't giving anything back to you. I'm sick of these trans athletes competing in women's sports. I'm sick of these trans athletes dominating against other women, but yet when it comes to male, they'll get their asses handed to them. They'll get their asses beat. Hell, I would like to fight them. I would love to fight those trans athletes, those trans boxers. I would literally take my gloves off and rip their faces and try to rip their esophagus out of their neck. As America, we should stand against that and put an end to it. I stand for women's sports and saying that women should compete against women and men should compete against men. Get rid of this whole idea of changing your gender. Get rid of this whole trans crap. I'm so glad the military is doing it. Getting rid of this trans crap where you're coming in as a male trying to change into a female. Like, no. That's not what the military is for. Get rid of the whole trans. It should be just two genders, male and female. Stop confusing people. Stop telling children when they're young that they have a voice when it comes to their sexuality. Young kids shouldn't even be focused on their sexuality and their sexual preferences. I'm sick of this country's agenda with the media on the left pushing these agendas. No, I don't stand for these leftists and for these trans athletes competing against women. More women need to come out and stand up against this. Stand up, take a stand. You come out here, you fight for every right, and yet for an issue like this, there's not enough of y'all speaking up. Get out there, speak up, and put an end to it. Put a stop to this. And for those trans athletes, if this video offends you, good. I'm sick of you all. I'm sick of you all with your confused mindset, claiming that you're oppressed, getting all these rights in job places, in job markets that you don't truly deserve. Talking about how the country's unfair and how you want every right to, be able to change and then, go and switch over just to, have an advantage over people that you already have a biological advantage over anyways. That we need to put an end to it. I stand for women's rights in sports where women should only compete against women. Put it into this trans crap. Hospitals, we should stop allowing men to transform into women. Just stop it. Take away that right and that liberty. That's not even a freaking liberty, in my opinion. Well, that's all I have to say. Thank you. More women should stand up and speak against this, and let's put an end to trans athletes competing in women's sports. Thank you for watching, and remember, To be informed is not to be woke. Stay conscious, my friend.
What would you have to say to the people and the young women out there that see what's going on with, men trying to invade women's sports, which we think is atrocity? What would you have to say?
Well, you hit the nail on the head. It is insane that we have seemingly an entire political party, at least in terms of elected representation, who thinks you, as a young woman, as a girl, as a female, as a mother, don't matter. You don't matter. You're not worthy of privacy. You're not worthy of safety. You're not worthy of equal opportunity. That's the message that the Democrats are sending to you. But I am here to send the exact opposite message. You are worthy. You are worthy of calling yourselves a champion. And that's what people like Topher and myself are fighting for.
And that is what I call women's rights, baby.